Hello, and welcome to the N1 Lifestyle channel. My name is Jason, and this is where I share my thoughts, ideas, and experiences around improving one's quality of life, their health span, and ultimately one's lifespan. On today's episode, I'm going to cover with you my top 5 tips for going ketogenic. Now, these 5 things are the ones I wish I could go back into time and share with myself so that I could have had a smoother transition going through my journey, which kicked off back in 2013. Now, between the years of 2013 and 2015 was a lot of trial and error. There's a lot of things that worked, and there's plenty more that didn't work. So these are the things, again, that I think will help you in your transition. So the first one is measuring. The second one is going to be about prepping. The third one is about being dirty. The fourth one is exercise. And the last one is tracking. So again, these are the things that should help you because they certainly would have helped me in kicking off my ketogenic journey. Please remember that I'm not a doctor and that the information that I'm providing is purely that, for information purposes only. If you're interested in doing any of the things that I'm sharing with you, please consult with your doctor to make sure that they're best suited for you. So measuring is the first one, and this is understanding how you look and feel today and how you want to look and feel in the future. And the easiest one is just understanding your total body weight. Most of us have a scale or access to a scale, and we'll keep track of that on a regular basis. However, what I'm talking about is getting down to the granular things. What is your lean mass? That's your muscle mass. What is your fat mass? And more specifically, what is your visceral fat? This is the fat that's in and around your organs. These are things that you're going to want to keep track of and hopefully start seeing going down. Another thing you're going to want to measure is your vitamin and mineral panel. So this is a blood test that you would need to have done through your doctor, and it's going to tell you all the nutrients that are going on inside of you and whether your diet is enough to get the vitamins and minerals that you need, and possibly where to supplement. Another one to consider is a cholesterol panel. Again, understanding what is your total cholesterol, your triglycerides, your low density lipids, your LDL, and your high density lipids, your HDL. And given that you're going to be on a high fat diet, hopefully saturated and monounsaturated, you're going to want to keep track of this to make sure that things aren't getting out of sync. So the second one is prepping, or being prepared. Now this is really about ensuring that you have access to the best possible food available to you. So if you're like me, you'd prepare your food on a regular basis. However, if you're also like me, you'll get tired of doing it from time to time, and you just want to go out and have some normal food, so to speak. So it's important that you find out what restaurants or eateries around where you work or where you're staying that is easy access, where you don't have to think about it. You can just say, oh, I'm going here and I'm going to order this off the menu because it's going to fit within my ketogenic diet, and I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to think about it. It's just that simple. So I'd recommend that you find yourself 3 to 5 places so that you have some variety on the days in which you don't want to prepare your own food. Another thing that let me down, but I quickly figured out how to do, was having enough snacks. So snacks typically are going to be some type of nut. So whether it's almonds, walnuts, Brazil nuts, try to stay away from cashews or nuts that are higher in carbohydrates. Other things that I actually like to eat are hard-boiled eggs, some olives, Parma ham, things like that that are easy to store. They'll last quite a long time, and I can just readily go get them when I need them. Just make sure that you have enough food around you so that you're not tempted by other things. Number 3 is quite a fun one. It's about being dirty. So if you've been looking around the internet about dirty keto, you probably would have seen numerous videos around this. And this is primarily about eating foods that are more processed and possibly have a lot more chemicals or a lot less nutrient dense. So these are things that are like processed meats, like bologna, sausages, going to McDonald's or Burger King, getting a hamburger and not eating the bun, but just eating the meat and possibly the cheese. And it's fair to say that those aren't the highest quality foods that you can get. Try to stay away from mayonnaise that is made from vegetable oil. Just anything that's processed is considered dirty. The reason this is here is because I tried to be clean from the start, and it was a really tough transition from the quote-unquote normal American diet to being ketogenic clean. So the point is don't be afraid to be dirty in a transition to being clean. It's okay to be dirty while you're working towards being clean, because ultimately you'll find your way, find your groove to get there. So don't be afraid to be dirty. Number 4 is exercise. This shouldn't be any surprise, but the reason I bring it up is exercising when you're starting to be ketogenic actually speeds up the process. So when you exercise, particularly if you exercise fasted, which means you haven't eaten in probably 8 to 12 hours. So if you eat dinner at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night, and then you do some exercise between 6 and 8 o'clock in the morning, that's going to be a fasted cardio or a fasted exercise if you haven't consumed any calories. And when you do that, it actually forces your body into using whatever glycogen that it has. So these are the carbohydrates that are stored in your body. And as you burn through them, your body will then start saying, oh gosh, I need some fat. So it'll start processing your fat and helping you become fat adapted, which is ultimately what you want to be when you're on a ketogenic diet. So find a way to incorporate exercise more regularly if you want to speed up the process in being ketogenic. So number 5 is tracking. And what I mean by this is food tracking or a food diary. And I would recommend that you do this for a couple of months because you're going to likely be eating foods that you don't normally eat or haven't eaten for some time or haven't eaten in the volume that you may be eating them. So you're going to want to know what makes you feel good. It's giving you that energy, and there could be some foods that make you feel uncomfortable, give you gas, maybe give you diarrhea, or cause other issues that you're going to want to be able to reflect back on to figure out how to eliminate them from your diet. Now, the 2 things that didn't work well for me were tofu and artificial sweeteners. And it's actually artificial sweeteners that caused all kinds of problems for me and really ruined my gut and took a long time to recover from that, because some of us may like to have Diet Coke or put Equal or other type of sweeteners in their coffee in the morning because you still like things that are sweet. And again, this didn't work out well for me at all. And if I had had a food diary, I probably would have figured out this problem a lot sooner than I did. Another thing around tracking that's not regarding food is around sleep. So if you have the ability to track your sleep, whether it's an Oura ring like this, or you have a sport watch that you can track your sleep, again, pay attention to how you're sleeping. What time of day should you stop eating before you go to sleep? So for me, I stop eating at around 7:30 because I go to sleep at 10, and I want that 2.5 to 3 hour break before I go to sleep. Some foods may keep you up, maybe give you too much energy that you want to avoid at night. Another thing might be caffeine. So my genetic test told me that I'm a high caffeine processor, but I still realize that even though I might go to sleep okay, the quality of sleep I have is actually at risk if I have coffee past 12 noon. So keeping track of this is something that I learned a lot later on, but I certainly wish I had known at the beginning. So those are the top 5 tips that I wish I had known back in 2013 to help me along. And the bonus tip that I'd like to throw out there is being honest, particularly being honest with yourself. Now, this might sound really silly, but oftentimes we have these internal conversations that we convince ourselves that, oh, it's okay to do this, or it's okay to do um, something that maybe you shouldn't be doing. Um, well, no one's going to know. Of course, no one's going to know, but you're going to know. And these are the things that you want to try to avoid. You want to be honest and hold yourself accountable to the best of your ability. If you screw up, it's okay. Just be honest about it and work towards finding a way to stop that from happening again. So I hope you found those 5 tips useful and things that you can apply to yourself, or maybe to a friend that you know. And if there's anybody that you think this video would benefit, please give it a share and give it a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. If you have any questions, please put them down in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So until next time, have a good one.